Their voices rose above the noise of their time, carrying messages that shifted paradigms, challenged injustice, and inspired millions. Throughout history, a select few individuals have harnessed the power of peaceful resistance, not with armies or violence, but with unbreakable conviction and words that moved the world. The leadership that sparked movements of global transformation and whose legacies continue to ripple across generations. Imagine a world plagued by inequality and division, where speaking up could come with great personal risk. What does it take for someone to rise in such times, to insist on change not through force, but through peaceful action and moral clarity? This is the common thread woven through our journey today as we explore how, from the streets of Montgomery to the United Nations, and from colonial India to climate strike marches, ordinary people galvanized extraordinary progress. First, let's set the stage with a brief look at the art and impact of peaceful resistance. At its heart, peaceful resistance means confronting injustice without resorting to violence, demonstrating that dignity and determination can overcome even the fiercest opposition. Rooted in both ancient philosophy and modern movements, this method has not only changed laws but reshaped societal values on a global scale. Its champions and the communities around them remind us that everyone, everywhere, has the potential to bend the moral arc of the universe towards justice. Now, let's begin our deep dive with one of the most resonant voices of the 20th century. Martin Luther King Jr. Emerging as a leader of the American civil rights movement, King stood at the forefront of a fight against racial segregation and discrimination. His method was inspired by nonviolent principles, and his rhetoric was electrifying. With words that echoed hope amid adversity, he invoked the dream of a nation where all were truly equal. The 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, became an emblematic moment in the struggle for liberty and justice. Facing imprisonment, violence, and threats, King refused to meet hatred with hatred. Instead, he called for love, understanding, and the power of peaceful protest. King's impact endures, not just in the laws that changed, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, but in a global movement for equality and dignity. His example inspired similar movements in South Africa, Asia, and beyond. Today, his message reminds us that social progress is possible, but only when individuals choose courage over complacency. Turning back the clock, we encounter another giant of nonviolent resistance, Mahatma Gandhi. At the height of British colonial rule, India's struggle for independence seemed insurmountable. Against this backdrop, Gandhi's approach was radical. He championed satyagraha, meaning truth force, advocating for civil disobedience as a tool of mass mobilization. Through salt marches, boycotts, and hunger strikes, he managed to unify millions of Indians under a simple yet profound creed: resist peacefully, act justly, and persist with compassion. Gandhi's leadership fundamentally transformed not just India, but global perspectives on colonialism and human rights. The successful achievement of Indian independence in 1947 set a precedent for peaceful liberation movements worldwide, from South Africa's battle against apartheid to the American civil rights struggle itself, where King was directly inspired by Gandhi's principles. Today, Gandhi's legacy lives on as a testament to the enduring power of truth and nonviolence. Fast forward to a different continent and era, we meet Malala Yousafzai. In the rugged valleys of Pakistan's Swat region, where extremism threatened the right of girls to education, Malala refused to be silenced. As a young teenager, she spoke out publicly, blogging under a pseudonym and later appearing in interviews, all while danger loomed. When militants attacked her, Malala's resolve only strengthened. Her survival became a symbol, and her advocacy blossomed onto the world stage. She became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate, using her platform to campaign for universal access to education. Malala's story illustrates the ongoing, borderless fight for human rights. Her voice, unwavering and articulate, has brought international attention to the importance of education, particularly for girls. Her global campaign continues, inspiring new generations to challenge oppression and imagine a world where every child learns safely, regardless of geography or gender. The next turning point in our journey belongs to Rosa Parks. On a cold December evening in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa refused to surrender her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus. This simple act of dignified resistance became the spark for the Montgomery bus boycott, a movement that would last over a year and galvanize millions in the battle against institutionalized racism in the United States. Rosa Parks was not the first, but her quiet courage and steadfastness resonated widely, proving that everyday actions, performed with conviction, can upend unjust systems. The movement she helped launch challenged and ultimately dismantled segregation laws in public transport, marking a seminal victory for civil rights. Rosa Parks' legacy is a lasting reminder that ordinary individuals possess extraordinary power to confront oppression and inspire collective action, setting the standard for peaceful protest in communities worldwide. Finally, we arrive at the present with Greta Thunberg, a voice that has energized the most urgent movement of our time, the climate crisis. Starting as a solitary figure outside the Swedish parliament, Greta's weekly climate strikes ignited a global call to action among youth and adults alike. Her clear, uncompromising message, rooted in scientific consensus and moral responsibility, has commanded the attention of world leaders and millions of ordinary people who demand a sustainable future. Greta's activism demonstrates the timeless value of peaceful resistance, underscoring that one determined individual speaking truth to power can catalyze worldwide awareness and action. The Fridays for Future movement she inspired now spans continents, bridging generations and backgrounds in pursuit of environmental justice. Reflecting on these 5 voices, King, Gandhi, Malala, Parks, and Thunberg, we see the enduring power of peaceful resistance to rewrite history. Their words and deeds remind us that real change begins with conviction, grows through collective action, and flourishes in the enduring commitment to justice. Their journeys teach us that silence in the face of injustice is complicity, but courage, no matter how small or quiet, can ignite a movement. Each one of us has a voice. What will you speak for? Let their stories be not just memories, but a call to action to pursue justice, equality, and peace in our communities and across the world. The next global movement could begin with a single voice, perhaps even yours.